I say, how are you doing today? How are you doing today? Y'all already know I am your host, Lacey G. Souldier Turner. And today I have a special guest with me. I've been in the insurance industry for over 18 years with a background in commercial, personal line, and employee benefits. Second generation insurance consultant, following in the footsteps of his father, man. Look, man, his brother been doing a lot of great things, man. I just got to keep it 100 with you. Today, man, we got the wonderful, amazing, talented Quincy Branch up in this piece, man. Welcome to the platform, Quincy.
Man, appreciate you, sir. Appreciate you. I'm trying to figure out who you were talking about. I didn't know that was me or not.
So we got a lot of stuff to discuss today, but
Yeah.
before we get into what I want to discuss, let the people know where were you born and raised, and how was your upbringing as a child.
Oh wow, man. Well, I'm really from the South, so New Orleans, Louisiana is home for me. So I'm a Southern kid by birth, but I was raised in Long Beach, California. Went back to the South, and then came out west to Vegas, and so I sort of been Southwest, all over the place. But the Louisiana is my home.
So I see, you're the owner of the Colony Financial Group, St.
Mhm.
Louis, and BBB Consultants. Could you tell me about your commitment to St. Louis and Colony Financial Group?
Oh, well, man, and I think that's a great story, Lacey, to be totally honest, because, and I gotta, first of all, speak and give honor to, Kathy Conley Jones, who was the originator and founder of the Conley Financial Group over 40 years ago now, that started her labor and love in insurance. And so I've known Kathy for all of my adult insurance life. So over the last 20 years, I've known her and been mentored by her. And so, short story is that, you know, we've always known each other. And a couple of years ago, now 2 years ago, matter of fact, she calls me and says, "Hey, God said it's time, and you're the person." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so, one of her big thing was, and I like what you said about the commitment, right? She said, "I love what you're doing in the community. I know you're committed to, the insurance space. I know you're committed to our community, and I want you to come in and keep that same thing going on in the St. Louis community as well." And so, after talking with her and understanding what was going on, it was just a natural fit. Honestly, AC, that it was like, okay, you know what, man, we continue to do some good work, because outside of insurance, man, yeah, building up the community and making sure our community especially understands and knows the importance of insurance and wealth building is extremely important to me. So it was just a natural fit of how we came together with the Conley Financial Group. So again, 2 years ago, was able to come in, and strike that deal. And now I am, the president CEO of the Conley Financial Group, as well as Branch Benefits Consultants, which is our other company based here in Las Vegas. So, we just simply say, sir, we're just trying to take over the world one insurance policy at a time.
Mm. So could you break down the importance of financial empowerment through education?
Well, I think, Lacey, financial and wealth management at its base is what we need, especially, and I'm gonna continue to keep saying it, as in our community, because that's where it all starts, right?
Mhm.
Like, if we can create a base of financial literacy and understanding how dollars and insurance and investments and all those things work, then that's how, in my opinion, you break the cycle of poverty, right? And that's how you break the cycle of lack. And
Mhm.
so, educating our young people, even educating our older generation, but I really do believe in educating our young folks really helps us create that path of how you break that cycle and eventually just continue to build. So I think education, man, is key. And
Mhm.
it comes in all various forms, right? Like, some of us learn it in various different ways, but you have to meet people where they're at and be able to explain to them why it's so important.
Mhm.
But I think that piece, sir, is something that is sorely needed.
Mhm. Definitely, I agree with you on that. Um, Before we even get into families, can you explain why having insurance is important just for a person to get
Oh
insurance?
man, where do I begin, right? But I think at the end of the day, right? At least we always people look at insurance as this product that I pay too much for and I never use it and blah blah blah. But at its core, insurance is there to protect you in your time of need to make you whole. So whether that's auto insurance, you get in an accident, okay, the plan is supposed to put you, get your car fixed, get you back on the road. If it's health insurance, it's supposed to give you the availability to see a doctor, get you whole, and get you back out there living life. If it's life insurance, again, it's the matter of, okay, well, you've passed on, but now your family has funds to say, okay, now I can take care of debt, I can pay for that funeral, I can put to college funds, do different things to make you whole. So having the right insurance policies in place is critical, in my humble opinion, because I tell people all the time, it's not a question of if life is going to happen. It's a question of when life is going to happen.
Facts, that part.
And life be lifing. Let's just be real out here.
Facts.
So, you're going to have an accident. Something's going to happen at the house. We're all going to pass away at some point.
Right.
We're all going to get sick. So it's okay. What do you have in place that's going to help you again get back whole? It's not to get you. It's not to get you rich. It's to make you whole.
That part.
Right.
Let me elaborate, because you spoke on it a little bit. But how does insurance help families?
So I think, when you talk about families, right, I think more importantly, I'm going to go to talking about life insurance, for example. So, a lot of times, people don't have the proper life insurance coverage. And of course, when you pass away, and this is a pet peeve of mine, to see, people having to do GoFundMe, which I'm gonna just say this out loud, a public service announcement. GoFundMe is not insurance. GoFundMe is not insurance. But it's something that, for how do you put something in place, to let your family know that you're taking care, you're thinking about your family, right? So again, you and I are both males. I'm not quite sure your family dynamic, but I use myself, for example. Got 2 kids, one's in college, one's in high school. I have life insurance on me. So therefore, again, if I pass away, okay, at least my wife can say, okay, I can pay off my son's college. I can set some aside for my daughter to go to school. I can pay off the house. So therefore, you're going to grieve and you're going to be sad that I'm gone. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be trying to jump in that casket because, okay, this dude at least did something to make sure that, man, we were set.
Facts.
I can pay for the funeral. But also, even more so now my family doesn't have to go into debt because of my demise, right? Yeah. And so now what I've done is, Lacey, I've shown my family I love you enough to protect you even when I'm gone.
It's deep.
And to me, that's a powerful statement, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just gonna protect you and grind for you when I'm living. Right. Man, I'm gonna protect you and I'm gonna look out for you even when I'm gone.
And I've seen so many people do fish fries, like you said, to go. Like when you said all you have to do is get that insurance, and then you can live. Like you said, you'll be comfortable. Your family will be comfortable after you're gone up to this point.
Right. And I would say, man, and that is really something that just really hurts my heart, to your point, when you have to see, our people doing fish fries, standing on the corner collecting, donations or whatever the case may be, because it doesn't have to be that way. Okay. It really doesn't. And I'm gonna go back to your first question, because the same way, and I don't say this as a knock to anybody, because I have a shoe addiction as well. But the same way that we can go out and get those new J's, the same way we can do that and do whatever.
Go to the club.
We can put a little bit aside and make sure that we got this covered. We really can.
So transition on that. How much, like, I guess, what is the ballpark range that insurance usually runs?
Well, see, in that, it all depends. I mean, and I don't mean this to say that to skirt around your question, but and I'll use me for an example, and I can be candid. I have $1 million life insurance policy on me, and I got that policy probably about 15 years ago now. And right now, I think I pay $75 every 3 months for that policy.
See?
So that policy has cost me $25 a month.
Yeah, like that ain't nothing either.
Right. Exactly. In the grand scheme of things, we will blow $25 at Starbucks.
Like that. Facts. McDonald's, anything.
Right. You get 2 number 2s and supersize them. That's your $25 right there. So to that point, if you do it young enough and you do it before you get sick, if you do it before the body starts to ache and everything else, and before you get too old, man, it's not that expensive. you know, and so that's why when you asked that earlier question, and that's what I really like to make sure I educate folks on.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, it's not, you don't have to be some super wise and super rich person to just start at the basics, right?
Right, correct.
And I think if we started the basics, to your point, now, you know, at least my children have a leg up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's, but the prices range though. Honestly, it can vary, and it can be super expensive at times. It really can, if you wait long enough, and now you got health conditions. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, it varies.
Okay. So, could you break down? I know you doing your thing, with the showings. Could you break down your national reach and the service areas that you service?
Well, the cool thing about it is, right, and thank you for the question, because our reach is really worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
We're licensed in all 50 states, 51 states or whatever, plus Puerto Rico. And we can sell products in each and one of those states, which I think makes it cool. And I'm actually proud because I know we are the largest, you know, independent insurance agency that's minority owned by, you know, African American in the state of Missouri and also the state of Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, our goal and our mission is to make sure that we literally, you know, we don't just sell policies, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we really provide protection, and we provide education and whatnot. So, but our reach, sir, our reach is literally from Cali to New York,
Mm-hmm.
and all areas in between.
Okay, doing the thing. So
Yeah.
anybody can get it wherever you at them, even in Puerto Rico.
Basically, exactly, you can get it, and that's what I really like to make sure I tell people, you know, that it's not unattainable, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and there's plans and prices for everybody. It's just a matter of, okay, what do you want to do, and what are you looking for, and what are you trying to cover.
Um, so I remember probably like a couple years ago. This what made me learn to start getting insurance. Period, because I
Mhm.
had like um a a fire in my loft or whatever, and I ain't had
Mm.
renters insurance. So you know what I'm saying. If I would
Yeah,
have paid this little $10, $12 a month, then I would have been covered. So that was a learn. So ever since then, I was like, okay, I'm getting insurance for everything, life insurance, renters insurance, all that stuff because
yeah,
it comes in
but
handy.
right, but that's facts though, right? And like you said, man, it's just something as simple as renter's insurance, which is renter's insurance is usually very inexpensive. And I like to tell people, even in that, you know, right to, I mean, to your point exactly. You
Mhm,
know, in our homes, we got TVs, we got,
mhm,
you know, Xboxes and PlayStations, we got our shoe
mhm,
collection, we got clothes and everything else.
mhm.
And even if we're being careful, right, the person next to you, they
Yeah,
start a fire,
anything can.
and that fire comes over to your place, all your stuff is gone.
Yep. And if you would have just paid that little $10, you would have been covered.
Exactly, and that's the thing, right? And to your point, okay, yeah, can it get the sentimental value back of those first pair of J's that you brought, or whatever the case may be? No, but to your point, can at least cut you a check to say,
Right.
okay, man, look, now I can go out there and rebuild my life.
Facts, real talk. So let me ask you this. So, you've been doing this for a long time. So on your journey, what would you say has been your greatest challenge?
Wow, man.
Yeah, be hitting with the question.
Yeah. Well, I think right now for me, Lacey, if I look back over, you know, the course of I've been in insurance now 23 years now. It's probably been just, you know, balancing business and family,
Mm,
you know, because, you know, of course you have that grind and that mamba mentality, and you want to hustle and do certain things. But like I told you before, me, I got a kid in college and a daughter in high school. You know, I've been married 22 years and whatnot. And I mean, you got to make sure you keep that balance.
facts.
And you got to make sure you stay focused on the priorities and whatnot. So I probably want to say that that's probably been my biggest struggle, and even continual struggle, right? You
Mhm,
know, just to make sure I continue to have that balance.
okay. So on another question, what would you, flipping that? What would you say has been your greatest accomplishment?
Wow. Oh man. I take pride in being able to offer people an opportunity to grow. And by saying that, I mean, we're by no stretch of imagination a big corporation, but right now we have 21 people that are employed in the organization and it's growing. But I take pride in knowing that, okay, man, I'm able to give 21 people an opportunity, you know, to do something with their lives and to grow and to, feed their families and things of that nature. So I don't take that lightly at all. But at the same time, it's pretty cool, man, to be able to say that, okay, man, I can have a positive effect on people's lives. And then also too, to that point we talk about insurance, right? Man, you have no idea, sir, how rewarding it is for someone to call you and be like, oh yeah, XYZ passed away, and then you help them file that claim. Man, you deliver a $500,000 check to a family that's grieving, and they look at you and be like, oh man, this is gonna change our lives. So I've seen those stories. I've had those type of experiences, and those are the things that are rewarding me to actually see the fruit of the product that we talk about every day. That's the cool part.
And I really want you to, hit the nail on the head, drive this one home. So for anybody who is on the fence about getting insurance, what advice would you have for them?
I think if you're on the fence, and I think I would say this, I'm going back to what we said earlier. Man, life is gonna happen. You're gonna get in that accident.
Yep.
You're gonna pass away at some point. At some point, your body's gonna start to break down, and you're gonna get sick. And what I find and what I see a lot of times in my experience, Lacey, is that when you call me at that point, it's too late. You know, and so I guess I just tell people in that sense, if you're on the fence, man, do you care enough about the things that you buy, the family that you have, or the family that you want, enough to make sure that you insure them today? Do you care enough about your future that you will sacrifice a little bit today?
That's deeply put. Real talk. Real talk, man. So let me ask you this. How can people, get in contact with you, or, if they want to come through your agency?
Okay. Well, I think, we're on all the socials. So, you can definitely, hit us up and find us on our website, which is tcfgins.com. You can definitely find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, the Conley Financial Group. And, I got to throw it out there. We go old school as well. We have a phone number. And of course, like I said, again, with all things, I'm trying to get that phone number set. The phone number is 314. Where is? Oh, yeah, 314-930-3550. But again, I repeat that, 314-930-3550. We located right there on Woodson Road, right by the airport. So, right in the community, and we're doing, we're hopefully, making an impact and making a mark. But like I said, again, all the socials, website, phone number, LinkedIn, whatever the case may be, you can find me, you can find us. And I tell people all the time like this, Lace. Also, if you're on the fence, a conversation with us is free. It doesn't cost you anything to have a conversation. And I love to have those kind of conversations all day long, to just sort of, again, going back to your earlier question, educate you on the value of what you have and what you should be looking for and what you should be, protecting, right? And I think that biggest thing is, also I want to say this as well, is that I know everybody is conscious of price. But I tell people all the time, man, make sure that you're not sacrificing price for what you're trying to cover. Because I see it too often. People will change this on their policy, or they'll get a policy that does this, and then life will happen. And then they realize exactly what they're trying to get covered for. There's no coverage.
That's something I want to ask you too. So what if can people still get, I guess, life insurance if they like have cancer or type 2 diabetics, or?
See, and that goes back to my earlier point, right? That's when it gets tough. Like you have some opportunities to get it, but now it's gonna cost you. And so now it's gonna cost you a premium. And then that's when it gets to the point to where people are like, oh well, at that point, you know, and I've even told some folks at that point, no, it's not even worth it. You know, I would much rather you be more smart and invest and put your money somewhere else, because yeah, paying for a life insurance policy, you know, is too much at that point. You know, so so that's why it's all about early and often.
Gotcha.
And the earlier and often you can do it, the better.
Gotcha. So, do you have anything coming up that you want to promote, Quincy? Anything you got going on?
Not at this point. I think right now nothing, no special events that we want to promote. You know, we got some things that will probably be coming up around the holiday times that we'll probably be getting out in the community and making sure that, you know, people are aware of. But at this point, I think more than anything else, the only thing I want to promote, honestly, is just, man, thinking enough about your future to understand and know that, man, you know, insurance is not just a product that is something that just costs you money. It really is something that can help save you money and also build wealth. And that's the kind of conversations I want to have with folks. You know, I don't want to have conversations around how I can get me cheaper insurance. I want to have conversations around, okay, how can you use this as a vehicle to save what you have, but also build for the future.
Gotcha. All right, Mr. Quincy, my last question that I like to ask all my guests. When it is all said and done and you are long gone from this earth, what is it that you want the people to know about Quincy Branch?
Wow. Man, see, I wasn't ready for that question. Man,
Go ahead, take your time. Take your time.
man, I think at the end of the day, right? You talk about that dash, right? You got that start date and you got that end date, that dash, right? Man, and I think for me, I just want my legacy to be that, man, Quincy was a real, genuine person. He said he meant what he said. He did what he said he was going to do. He cared about people, and man, he was about the right stuff. And if people can say that about my life, you know, that dash, then the legacy will continue.
Stay. Well, Mr. Quincy, I appreciate you one more time. Let the people know where they can find you at.
Awesome, sir. So again, Quincy Branch, President and CEO of the Conley Financial Group. Again, our phone number is 314-930-3550. You can hit me up at email at qbranch@tcfgins.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on YouTube. So, you know, Google us, look for us, and again, call us, because a conversation is free. A conversation is free.
Well, thank you again, brother. I love, when especially our black men and everybody. Black men, black women, everybody is educating us and doing something in the community, because I didn't have a lot of this education growing up, period. So, I'm just starting to learn all this stuff myself, especially going through, things that we go through, we learn from things. So I appreciate you giving us this education.
Yeah, no, man. And I just want to say this, sir, personally, I appreciate you. And I speak blessings upon you and your platform. Because again, sir, you're creating opportunities for people to learn and to get knowledge. So much success to you, sir. I appreciate the invitation and truly just, appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Thank you very much. And, we'll talk again in the future, and I'll keep you updated on when we drop this interview or article also.
All right. Sounds good. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Peace out.
All right. Appreciate you.